Before we get started, let's first do a quick poll. So, how many of you could remember the greatest success you ever achieved? Maybe you won an award, pass an exam, or achieve a personal goal. If that's you, raise your hand. Oh, thank you, thank you. It's always great to celebrate our successes. And now let's turn the table. So, how many of you could remember the greatest failure you ever experienced? Maybe you didn't get a result you want, made a mistake, or missed an opportunity. If that's you, raise your hand. Oh, thank you. It's interesting that while we all experience failure, it feels much harder for us to share it. So today I want to explore failure, not as something to be feared or avoided, but as something powerful. Let me first introduce myself. My name is Jeffrey, aka the King of Failure. Yeah, you heard that right. It's not just a nickname, but it's a title that I've earned after countless missteps, setbacks, and outright disasters. Simply name a few disasters. I once messed up a Go exam that I had prepared for months. I once underperformed on the football field because of my mentality. I once struggled in physics and math competitions that didn't go as planned. And about the greatest failure, wow, that exam really matters a lot, and I still feel kind of frustrated when any keywords relating to that particular exam brought me back to those dark memories. Wow, terrifying. Sorry, I guess all of those failures totally fall into the yeah, I know, but how big a failure could a teenage boy experience category? However, the emotional catastrophe was real. The self-blaming, denial, the anger, and it nearly destroyed the self-esteem. But over time, once I fully surrounded myself into those failures or use a more positive tone to accept them, I realized something. Failure is not the end of the road, but it's part of the journey. And today, I wear my failures as badges of honor because they teach me more than any success ever could. I feel like this is an opportunity for self-upgrading that no one should miss. So, here come my preach for the value of the greatest failure we all have in life. Preach step 1, raise awareness. I designed a questionnaire to ask for the failures of my friends and my friends' friends. 105 results secured. Here are some keywords of those greatest failures. Out of those failures, I'd like to share 2 failures that I remember vividly. One is from my friend's 7 years old little sister, and she wrote, I peed at bed 2 months ago, nightmare. I don't know if she was forced by her brother to respond, but that was quite personal, right? And the other is from a 55 years old uncle, and he wrote, not able to say goodbye to dad the very last time. My heart is with this uncle. Those simple but heavy words just remind me of the movie that I watched recently. Some of you might watch it as well, The Last Dance, Pour the movie itself is about someone who was initially a wedding planner, was forced to be a funeral agent in the context of a epidemic wreaking havoc on businesses. And my favorite line from the movie was, it's a win just to have the chance to be here in this world. Why worry about getting off the bus when you can enjoy the scenery along the way? Anyway, great movie. So, the greatest failure to the 7 years old little sister is the shame she felt peed at bed. And the greatest failure to the 16 years old me is the 2 Go exam that I missed, that I have to use another 3 years to kind of revalidate myself. And the greatest failure to the 55 years old uncle is the ultimate regret that he didn't say goodbye to his dad. And I don't think it's necessary to compare the failure degree here. The pain, the loss, the shame we felt was the same. But I think by acknowledging those haunting things, we are one step closer to fully work out of the situation. I think the simple survey did something good to the 105 respondents. So I want to take the next step. Pre-step 2, raise awareness plus edition. After the first step, I know I wouldn't stop here. The value of failure should be amplified. So how about a utopia for failures? Yeah, I want to create a website dedicated to failures, a platform for people from all over the world to come together and share their failure experiences. Why? Because I think we both need a space to normalize failure, to laugh at our mistakes, to talk about it openly, and realize that we are not alone. The goal of the website is not grand or overly ambitious, and I'm not trying to change the world overnight. I just want to create a platform where people can connect, reflect, and share their favorite stories. So let's check out the draft edition of the website. The head image is people with laughing faces. And in the in the story collector session, I collect stories from different people, and now mostly famous figures with their incredible failure stories. And viewers are more than welcome to submit their own failure stories. In the theory session, I list out classic videos and reading materials on how to deal with failures. Again, viewer perspectives on how to work out of failures are welcome in this session. And in the project update session, I share all my efforts on how to promote this campaign. I'm also in hope that I could connect with similar souls across the world through the website to exchange ideas with people who are passionate about failures. Yes, failure is ruining the world. Just kidding. So now you might be thinking, why I'm so obsessed with failure? Why not celebrate success? Here's the thing. Success is wonderful, but it's the moment of failure that truly shapes us because they inspire us to grow, reflect, and improve. The site isn't about glorifying failure, but it's about accepting it as a natural and necessary part of life. It's a place for those who miss out important goals to hear that you are not alone. It's a place where those who feel stuck can find inspiration from those who've been there and find a way forward. It's not about perfection, it's about being authentic. So now I want to ask you a question. How many of you are willing to accept your failure with pride? How many of you can say that, yes, I failed, but I am still standing? Oh yeah, that's the spirit. Thank you. So I want to leave you with this idea. Be proud of a failure. Wear them like a crown on your head because they've proved that you tried, learned something, and grew up. And as for me, I'll continue to be the king of failure. Not because I like to fail, but because I know that failure is the key that leads to ultimate success. Thank you.